Hey crafters, this is Nye here. So today what we are going to do, we are going to go through the steps of cutting out these scarecrow faces in order to make some Fall Scarecrow Soap Bottles. Okay, so I have Design Space open here. I'm on a brand new canvas. I have already gone ahead and I have uploaded my two scarecrow faces. And as you can see, these are grouped together. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select this ungroup button, and that's just going to separate Mr. and Mrs. face from each other. And I'm going to bring Mrs. down here and I'm going to bring the Mr. up here. Now, because we're using vinyl and because these are multiple colors, what we have to do is we're going to create some registration marks that will help us to align up all of these different colors once we have them cut. And so now I've put this one up here, the Mr. up here in the corner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the shapes panel and I'm going to grab two circles here. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to shrink it down by just grabbing the little handlebars here. Just shrink it down a little, and then I'm going to duplicate it by pressing the duplicate button. And I'm going to bring it over here just a little bit. And then I'm going to select both of these here. I'm going to select align. I'm going to align these together vertically right there. And then I'm going to group them together. And then I'm going to duplicate these 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then I'm going to grab both of these or all 4 of these again, and I'm going to duplicate all 4 of them. And these I'm just going to group together as well by just pressing the group button right here. And then I'm going to drag these and bring them down here next to the misses. And I'll use these when I go to create the registration marks for the misses. Okay, so back up here at the top, I'm going to grab these 4 groups of the circles that I made. So selecting all 4 of them, coming back over here to the align, I'm going to select it and then align, center horizontally. And then again, I'm going to center vertically. Then I'm going to grab all of these. I'm going to put them right up underneath the scarecrow face right here. Okay. Now I'm ready to start to group these together according to the colors. So I'm going to select my scarecrow face, and as you can see, this one is also grouped together. So I'm going to come back over here to the layers panel and I'm going to ungroup them. So that way now I can work with all of the different elements. So I'm going to select one of the circle groups here, and then I'm going to select over here in the layers panel both of these oranges. So 1, 2. And so you can see that I've got 3 things selected. I'm going to select group, and then I'm going to drag these right over here. Then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to select one of the circles. I'm going to come back over here to the layers panel and I'm going to grab all of the black here. Then I'm going to select group, and now I'm going to drag this over as well. And I'm going to do the same thing one more time. I'm going to select one of the circles. Then I'm going to select the white. Then I'm going to select group and then bring this one over as well. And then for this one here, I just created the bounding box around it, and then I'm going to create group again. All right. And so what I've done now is I've separated all 4 of these colors, but I have these circles so that way when I go now to, after I cut them and I'm ready to assemble them together, I'll be able to layer everything right on top of each other and it'll all layer perfectly because I have these circles for my registration marks here. So I'm just going to bring these over here a little bit so that way it's easier for me when I cut. I'm going to smush these things in right here, and I'm going to now do the same thing for Mrs. down here. So I'm going to bring her up to around this 4 mark. I'm going to grab all 4 of these, and because I had already grouped them together, I'm going to ungroup these now so I can work with them individually. And I'm going to also go ahead and align these. So I'm back up here at the align button. I'm going to select that, select horizontal or center horizontally, and then I'm going to select align and center vertically. And so I have them all stacked one right on top of the other. I'm going to grab them all again and I'm going to put them right underneath Mrs. Scarecrow's face right here. And now I'm going to select Mrs. Scarecrow's face, and because she is still grouped together, I'm going to select ungroup over here. And so now I can work with all of her individual parts. So I'm going to select one of my circles. Then I'm going to select my orange pieces and I'm going to group these together. And then I'm going to drag it over here, kind of right underneath my orange pieces already. Then I'm going to do the same thing again. So I selected a circle, I'm going to grab the black, and then I'm going to press group. I'm going to drag this and bring it right underneath the black at the top. Then I'm going to do the same thing here with the white. So I selected the white in one of the circles. I'm going to group those together. And then I'm going to put that right there. Okay, so now I'm going to do something a little different. If what we want to do is you could go ahead and you can select make, and the software will go ahead and sort everything according to the colors. What I'm going to do though is I'm actually going to cheat, and I'm going to write down where on my mat here all of my different colors are. So in my corner from 0 to 3, I'm going to need to create or cut out some of my brown vinyl. And then between the 3 and the 6, I'm going to have to do that for the white. Between the 6 and the 9, I'll put a black sheet. And then between the 9 and the 12, I'm going to put a orange sheet. Now, in order for me to get my mat to cut everything just the way I have it right here, I'm going to need to attach everything to the canvas. So I've created a bounding box right here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select attach down here in the lower right corner, or you could just right click and then select attach. Now this is going to change everything to one color because the software doesn't know that that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of trick it in a sense. And what I'm going to do now though is I'm going to select make. I'm not going to save anything. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to prepare my mat according to this. So, or according to what my screen here is showing. So remember this part here, right from 0 to 3 is going to be my brown vinyl. From 3 to 6 will be my white. From 6 to 9 will be my black. And then from 9 to 12 will be my orange. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare my mat with my vinyl like that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I prepared my mat. I'm going to show you a quick screenshot of what that looks like. And now what I'm ready to do is I'm going to hit continue. So I'm just going to select continue right here. I'm going to give my machine and my computer a chance to talk because I'm working through Bluetooth, and for some reason it always takes a really long time here for mine to connect. All right, so I'm good to go. I'm going to select vinyl, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to load my mat into my machine, and then I'm going to select go, and then I'm going to flip the camera and I'll meet you over at the table and we will go ahead and prepare our soap bottles, okay? Hey crafty friends, so I decided that we were going to do one more thing before we go ahead and begin our assembly. I decided that it would be fun to add a fun little cute tag for our soap bottles. And so I have here what I've already uploaded onto Design Space here is the soap tag quote that was also included in the file. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it here. I'm going to duplicate it really quick. I'm just going to bring it over here to the side. I'm going to grab these both. I'm going to ungroup them. Whoops, I hit the wrong one. I'm going to select the one, ungroup, select the other, ungroup. And as you can see, I've got two text layers, the yellow circle, and then the background. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these two text layers over here in the layers panel. Then I'm going to come over here to operations. I'm going to select this and change it to pen. So that way I will use my pen to actually draw it onto my cardstock. And then I'm going to grab one of these text layers now and the yellow layer, and then I'm going to attach them together so that way they'll stay grouped together. And then I'm going to grab it and I'm going to drag it and put it over here in the corner, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. So I'm going to grabbing that text layer again with the yellow one, and then I'm going to attach them together, and then I'm going to grab it and put it right there beside the other one. And then I'm going to take these two background pieces and then I'm going to put them over here. And so again, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attach everything to the canvas, and I'm going to take two different colored cardstocks. I'm going to put them on the same mat so I can cut them all at the same time. But I also have to just go ahead now, and I'm going to create my bounding box, and then I'm going to attach it to the canvas. So it changed the color, but this part over here with the wording is going to be yellow, and then this other part is going to be orange. I'm going to select make, And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause the video for a quick second. I'm going to go ahead and get my mat together. I'm not going to show you a screenshot of this one because I'm just going to go ahead and load it right away. But as you can see, everything's right here. I'm going to pause the video for a quick second so I can go ahead and prepare my mat. Okay, so I went ahead and I got my cardstock together on my mat. I've got a piece of cardstock that is about 4 inches in yellow, a 4-inch yellow cardstock. And I put it on my mat already, and I did the same thing for the orange. I put a piece of cardstock, it's about 5 inches by 3 inches, and so I have them on my mat. I'm going to go ahead and select continue, and again I'm going to give my computer a chance to talk to each other because mine is connecting over Bluetooth, and it always takes a while because there's so many devices that are running in my house. Okay, so here we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to select my medium cardstock. If you don't have this favorited here, you're going to want to select that browse all materials and find it under the cardstock. You can see that it's got the black pen here. That's what I'm going to need in order to draw the wording onto the cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and press go, and then I will flip my camera over so that way you guys can see everything for the assembly. Okay? All right. Okay, crafters, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and I flipped my camera around, and now we are ready to put together our faces on our soap bottles. So as you can see here, my soap bottles are free of any of the labels, and they're nice and smooth, and they are ready to get some faces put on. So I'm gonna start right away, and I'll just tell you some of my pieces here as I'm going along. So if you remember when we were doing the cutting video, we went ahead and we added some registration marks. So this one kind of came up here just a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and peel that part away. Then I'm going to do the same thing here now with the white. I'm going to be a little careful because this part here is much smaller and I don't want to lose the inside part of the eyeball. So I'm going to do that part, and let me make sure that my circles stay. I do want to make sure I kind of keep my order. So I'm going to do orange, then white, then I'm going to do the black here. And so again, sometimes you just need to take your time with it, especially when you've got any of those smaller pieces with the vinyl. So got that one there, and then last up is the hat. So I'm just going to pull this one back there, and there we go. I'm so excited for this. Yay. Okay. All right. So I've got my transfer tape here too. I'm just going to go ahead and peel this piece up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my orange piece and I'm just going to press it down. And I'm going to grab my scraper, and there we go. I'm going to give it a moment, and then I'm going to peel it up here. All right, and then I'm going to grab my next layer, and I'm going to line my registration dots one right on top of the other. And I'm also going to press it down, but I'm going to be really careful that I don't let this part touch here, because then it will stick to my table, and that's not where I want it to go. All right, so I scraped that there, and then I'm going to peel it back again, making sure that everything stays. I'm going to do the same thing now with the black. Again, I'm going to line it up. So just take your time to get it just right. And then again, pressing it down. That one's a little off, so I'm not going to let that one go down all the way. I'm going to lift it up, and then I'm going to go backwards and do this one. Then I'm going to just kind of eyeball this one on my own right there. So sometimes that can happen. I was going a little too fast, I think. So again, I'm holding this orange part of my bow up so that way it doesn't get lost there. I'm gonna use my scraper just to make sure I've got all of these eyebrows as well. And then I'm gonna peel it back again, making sure that I've got everything sticking. If you find, so you can see this part here, it's just coming up a little. If you find that it gets stuck, you just need to lift it up. All right, and so now for this last part, now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm holding, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm using my pinky to kind of hold down this bottom piece. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and just line it up right there. And then I'm scraping everything down. I'm going to use my scissors. So my bottom ones kind of came off there a little. And look, that's slightly disappointing. I wonder if I can salvage it. Probably not. Well, I just have to let it go. I'm going to cut away the bottom of my registration marks here. And then I'm going to lay this down and I'm going to press the face down kind of right in the center and then just kind of working my way out here. Really making sure that I'm getting the sides. All right. I'm going to use my scraper as well just to scrape it down. And then I'm going to peel it back gently. And there we go. Such a fun little project. I don't know if you can really see it with my lighting here, but it looks so cool. Okay, so now that was the Mrs. Let's go ahead and work on Mr. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. Let me turn it this way. And I'm just peeling away the vinyl here. Let me make sure I don't lose this one. I'm going to flip it this way so it doesn't get lost. It created a little pile. And I've got the eyes here. So again, I'm just going to be really careful to make sure that I don't lose the pupil of the eye. So I'm just taking my time to make sure that that goes there. And there we go. And let's flip this one here. Same thing with the black. You saw that part of the eyebrow came up. So sometimes you just have to use your weeding tool to make sure that it stays pressed down and that it all just doesn't come up at the same time. And there we go. Let me grab the mouth. And there it is. Okay, and now for the hat. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to flip everything back over and grab myself another piece of my transfer tape. I've got a little bit of a bubble here. I'm actually going to do it this way, I think, this time. So I'm going to flip it this way. I'm going to keep it kind of attached. And then I'm going to press it down just like this and have my excess be more towards the top this time. Again, I'm going to use my scraper just to make sure that it adheres. And then I'm going to flip it over and just peel everything back right there, making sure that it's all good. And again, just like how I did with the misses, I'm going to be really careful with the top part here
of my design. So let me make sure I get this one lined up. It's a little off. Let me scrape the eyes right there. And then I'm going to peel them back again. I'm going to do the same thing here with the black. So again, using my pinkies, which you probably can't see, but I'm using them to hold my paper down, my vinyl sheet down. And then somehow I think it got a little bit off here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do that one just like that. And I'm going to lift it back up. I'm not sure what happened with this one here. So I'm going to peel it up like this and hope that I didn't mess this one up too. It's just day that ends in Y, I guess. All right. So I'm going to grab this one, the top part of the hat, and then I'm going to flip it back again and peel it off. Now we're ready to do the brown. So again, oh, it's getting a little away from me here. Okay, so going for this one, and I'm lining it up right there. All right, so now I'm going to use my scraper and just press everything down to make sure that it's adhered. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut this part off. And again, just making sure that everything is adhered. And then I'm going to peel it back. And then we're going to go ahead and finish up the mustard. So, whoops. You kind of want to just work on your placement there. And when you've got it down, press it from the center and run it out towards the sides. So that way you get it everywhere. And these are just a fun little thing to do that makes fall a little bit more entertaining for us. All right, and so then we're just gonna gently peel everything back, and then you can see it. Oh, they're just too cute. They're turning out superb. I love them. Okay, so now what you wanna do is, I've got some twine here. I'm just gonna cut, let's see, that's probably a foot. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna wrap a little bit here around the neck of my bottle. And then I'm going to, well, before I do that, I've got to glue this down. So I'm gonna use my art glitter glue here, and let's glue down our soap quote. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue to the back. I'm gonna line up the hole here, pressing it down. I'm gonna do the same with the next one. Lining up the hole and pressing it down. And this is just a fun little quote for the fall. Scarecrows know that soap is the way to go. All right, and then I'm just going to fish it right through the hole here. And then I'm just going to tie it into a fun little knot. I'm going to kind of put it off to the side. So I'm going to do that way, and then just a cute little bow. I Probably should have made mine a little bit longer so it's not so close and added a little bit extra, but it's okay. I'm going to do the same thing now for the next one. So I'm going to cut this one a little bit longer, I think. Maybe about 18 inches right there. And then again, I'm going to do the same thing. Just wrapping it around there, then fishing the end through and putting it off to the side a little. And then I'm going to go ahead and make my knot here. And then adding a little bit of a bow. So this one I left the ends of the bow a little bit longer, so that way it hangs a little bit more. And there we go. So this is just a fun little craft for fall. You know, it makes it a little bit fun, add something a little bit different. You could gift these away if you wanted to, or you could just keep them for yourself. I'm gonna keep mine for myself and put it in the kitchen because my kids will have fun with it. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it's a little fun and different for us. And be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and happy crafting.